Stitch Cuties, it's Brittany with Stitches of Love Quilting, and in this video tutorial we are going to make the most adorable block from the Girl Power quilt called Annie the Farmer. This is block 3. It is going to be so much fun to make. So as always, read through your pattern and organize all of your goodies. Use your placement guide and your reverse applique pieces to organize your laser cut applique pieces into piles in order of how you're going to use them in your pattern, and then lay out all your fun sulky 40 weight threads on the side in order of how you're going to use them. And then after that, you don't have to think anymore. That's why I organize myself at the beginning, because then I can just go. So what we're going to do is start with white thread on our machine. And then let me put my pattern up here on the side for myself. And then what you'll do with your background fabric, you don't have to trim or cut it yet. It comes just how you need it in your box. We'll trim it down at the end before you put your borders on your block. You are going to simply fold it in half and then in half again, so in quarters. And then with the first thing that stitches onto your hoop, you have a T right in the center, and you're simply going to line this up and open it up. Easy peasy, just like so. Give yourself a little bit of a press just to make sure your little fold line doesn't stay in there too much. And you can use tape or whatever you'd like to hold your fabric in place. I'm going to use these little sew tights. These are the original sew tights, super easy to use, and they're just magnetic. Basically, they function like a magnetic pin, if you will, like a pin. And I put it towards the edge of the fabric because I don't want it to interfere with my stitching, of course. And so with that being said, that's all you have to do to prep. You're ready to go. So let's put this on for the first step of stitching, which in the pattern is actually going to be the first thing that stitches is number 6. Putting your fabric on is 7. And so then the first thing that's going to stitch your applique outlines is step 8. Alrighty, so you'll have your first round of applique outline stitch. You can go on and take off your tape or your sew tights or whatever it is that you use to secure your fabric. And now we're going to begin ironing our pieces in place for this step. And as always, we'll do it in numerical order. I'm going to turn my hoop sideways. Well, can I keep it straight for y'all? Let's see. Yeah, I always like to have it sideways, but I try to do it straight for y'all on the camera. Okay, so first up, we're going to put our cute little gingham corn piece in place. This is piece number 1. And I have to say, y'all, I think she is such a cute block. When I was getting the pieces ready, you know, like pulling them out of the kit and opening them up, when we get to her overalls, y'all, I mean, cutest overalls. Oh my gosh, I'd wear them. We have another block, the little girl's wearing overalls, I think, and another quilt. And I'm like, I would wear that. I don't know what it is. What else would we have a girl with overalls in? I don't know. I love it, though. I used to love overalls when I was a kid. So practical, right? Okay, so that was piece number 3. Now we're going to do piece number 7. This is the little stem in our apple. There we go. So cute. And I have to tell you, I've been craving apples lately because we were in Washington and the apples were so good there, y'all. And now I don't like the apples here in Florida. I want them from Washington. Okay, so you'll notice for her face, we give you 2 pieces for her face, and when we get to her hands, you'll have 2 pieces, and that's so we double line it. We'll do this on any kind of pale colors like a white, or in this case, it's a pale pink, because you can see, you still see the background fabric through it, and you don't want your girl to have, well, pastel colored freckles, because no one has pastel colored freckles in real life. So there we go. So see, when you put 2 pieces on top of each other, your background disappears behind it, which is great. So now let's give her some hair. This is the paparazzi dots for her hair. I forget what color this is called. Maybe something like autumn or something like that. But it's such a cute hair color, right? There we go. Ooh, I didn't get that lined up just right. While it's still hot, just kind of wiggle it. See? I was a little further down than I should have been, so I'm just wiggling it. Push it back up. And then piece number 12. You want to make sure you get your pieces in the right place because obviously your stitching is going to go right over this placement line. So if you're not in place, your stitching won't be in place. So I'll pay a little more attention. There we go. That's in a good spot. So now we're going to continue on to the next step, and our machine is going to give us our next round of applique outlines. And the next step coming up that it's going to outline for would be step 10. Okay, so you can see we have our second round of applique outlines stitched. So we will begin with piece number 2, the outer part of our corn. And with a piece like this, it's got a lot of little pokey parts, right? So once it's in place, I'm gonna go from one edge to the other, making sure it stays in place. So I get both little points, and then I'm just going to work my way down. And you don't need to like finagle the piece. It's like once it's in place, it's in place. You know what I mean? You don't have to try and like stretch it or pull it or anything silly like that. And then this is our little pumpkin down here. Do you know, I forget what grade it was. We had a pumpkin and somehow it stayed outside and it had rotted and some of the seeds got in. And I was so excited because I thought we were going to grow pumpkins, but you have to have boy and girl pumpkins or, you know, I don't know, something. And our pumpkins didn't grow, but we had real pretty, you know, the big leaves that pumpkins make. Now I feel like I don't know how farming works as I'm making a farm girl, which is quite embarrassing. Oh, I know how to sew, not how to farm. And my family, the husband is the gardener. He grows a lot of good stuff in our yard and on our deck. Right now, it's all about peppers. Alrighty, so our hair is in place and just gonna work my way over. There you go. So those are all the pieces for this step. Now we'll continue on, and our outlines are going to be the outlines from step 12 on our pattern. Okay, so now we're on our next round of ironing our pieces in place. So we'll start with piece number 5, and that is the middle part of our little pumpkin, like so. And then we have the leaf on our apple. How cute is this little leaf? I love it. And then now we have our hands, and again, just like her face, the hands, because they're a light color, there are 2 of each. So we're gonna start with her left hand, piece number 14. And these are not like perfect circles. They're the shapes of funny little round hands, right? So make sure you get it lined up. And then you're just gonna put the second one right on top. And they're exactly alike. It doesn't matter in terms of the 2 piece number 14s, which is on top or something like that. Sometimes you'll see in some of our quilts we'll have like a white on white print, and so what we put underneath is actually solid white, not another print, because you don't want to see print through a print, if that makes sense. Irrelevant to this block, but just fun fact if you wanted to know. And now number 15, you can see the kind of pointy corners at that top. That helps you orient it. And then her second piece of hands. Whoop, there we go. If my hands will cooperate. All right, so you put that on just like so. And look at that. The pieces behind disappear. It's magic. And then we have her little shoes. These are cute. They're like, to me, they make me think of like they'd be Timberlands that people wear when they're like out working, or my husband always does. And but they're floral, like they'd be girl Timberlands. I'd wear them with a floral print. Well, no, I wouldn't. I would look silly because, yeah. I don't do hard work like that. Alrighty, and then our second little boot. There we go. Okay, so let's continue on to the next step. So let's see, what was that? 20 and 22. So now the machine is going to outline on step 14, and we'll iron on 15 when we're back. Alrighty, let's iron on a couple pieces. So we have the top of our pumpkin, piece number 6. So with this little guy, make sure his little hook is in the right place, and the little points down here. Come on, little guy. There we go. Little tap. Perfect. And now, cutest little shirt that she's wearing. She's quite a snazzy dressed little farmer. I love it. Alrighty. Actually, you know, one of my husband's clients is in agritourism. It's an association of farmers. And it's really interesting to hear how so many people, I think really it's to kind of supplement farming income, but they invite people to the farm and you get to do that, you know, the whole pick that you do. They do weddings and events there. It's just really fascinating. So she'd be like the little boss lady farmer, I think maybe too. Okay, so let's continue on to our next round of applique outlines. Alrighty, let's iron on her little overalls. This is what I talked about at the beginning. Although it's not the cutest, it's such a cute print. I think it's actually the same print as our background fabric, but it's in the denim or the dark navy. I think it's, is it denim or dark navy? The denim, I guess, is what it would be called, but it's adorable. And it just kind of depends on where it falls when it's lasering, but this kind of fell where like all the print's kind of at the top. It's almost like a little pair of ombre overalls. It's cute. It'll be fun to see. They're all going to be, you know, every pair of overalls will be a little different. Okay, so we have one more step of applique outlines to stitch, and we'll be right back to iron our last round of pieces on. Alrighty, so we're ironing on our last set of applique pieces. This is step 19 in your pattern. So we're going to start by ironing piece number 18. I think it might be more confusing when I say the numbers of the steps because it interferes with the numbers of the pieces, but just trying to give info. Alrighty, and then the little right side of her overalls. And then her little cuffs, I love it. I love little rolled up, like jeans. It's like the inside of what it would be, the inside denim. So it's rolled up. Adorbs, isn't it? And then the right little cuff. And then we'll put her pocket on. And so how I'll do it is you'll follow along in your pattern. All your threads are set to the side, and you'll just follow the prompts on your machine and the colors that are in the pattern. And you're going to change your thread colors and watch your machine do all the work for you. It's going to be really fun to do. And then at the end, after you've done that and I've done mine, we'll meet back up and I'll show you what it's going to look like. I do want to point out one thing for you in your pattern. Make sure where it says 1833 pumpkin pie, your machine is going to list color 1168, but do use 1833. And I think that's the only little exception to point out. Yep. So in a few minutes, or actually a few seconds, with the magic of video, it'll be, you know, a little bit for you to stitch and for me to stitch, but with the magic of video, in a few seconds, we'll be back to take a look at how cute she is all stitched up. Okay, let's take a look at what our girl looks like stitched from top to bottom. She is so cute. Oh my goodness, I just can't stand it. She is so cute. So you have your little accent lines. Oh look, there's a little thread I gotta pick up. You have your accent lines on your pocket. You have an accent line down the center of her hair. And then you have cute little dash lines on your corn. You may need to trim some little threads between them. I know I do, I haven't done that yet. But it is just so super cute. I hope you enjoyed making that. So what you're gonna do now is, of course, take it out of the hoop. You're gonna remove all of your stabilizer and then use your placement guide along with your Cute Cuts ruler, the 8.5 inch one, and you will trim her down. The bottom will go right along the bottom of this. And of course, your placement guide will make sure you have this centered properly. So you'll trim her down, and then you have 4 pieces of fabric in your kit. You're going to trim those as instructed. They're making borders of your block, and you'll do left and right and then top and bottom. I believe left and right, top and bottom. Let me make sure. Every now and then a quilt has it different. Yeah, left and right, top and bottom. Yep, sometimes we've had quilts in the past where the borders were different every month, so I wanted to double check. So this is what she'll look like when she is all done, and just put her in a safe place, and then next month we'll make block 4 together. I hope you're enjoying making this super fun girl power quilt, and happy stitching.